So it's a random Tuesday night and J. Cole has just dropped a new song called Heaven's EP, and I believe it's only on YouTube at the moment, so maybe it'll end up showing up on Spotify at a certain point, maybe Apple Music, but for now all we have is a really cool music video and a lot of dope content to go through. So guys, we're going to be reacting to J. Cole's Heaven's EP right now because listen, it's Tuesday night, I didn't expect to be doing this right now, and it's always fucking fun getting this type of content.
Yeah, it is always fun. And of course we did our review of Cole's The Off Season, and if this leads to another project or another EP, of course we'll be covering all that, so stay tuned and let us know your thoughts on the Heavens EP in the actual comment section. But to start off, I mean, this is just a gift from J. Cole because he's about to go on tour for the off season and he just drops this gem out of nowhere.
Super
and
active.
Decides to actually put out a remix to Drake's Pipe Down, which is totally, surprising. And when I first heard the beat, I knew I recognized it, but I wasn't sure until the whole song had played out. And I'm like, this is genius because Drake, gave an R&B performance on this and Cole is spitting, a full 32. And it's crazy because it makes you think like Drake could have went with that direction, but J. Cole did it instead, and he has the better version of the beat for me.
Well, first of all, there's no chorus on this song. It's just a pure 32. He's going to literally rip through this whole song, not going to take a single break. And it's crazy because you also get to understand where J. Cole's at right now in his life, because we had gotten a lot of context on the off season, but now it seems like he's maturing even more and he wants to dive into other pieces of content. So just a little bit of background on that Pipe Down beat. It was produced by Antoine Walters, Jean Bleu, Fax Only, and Leon Thomas III, all collaborators with Drake. And not only that, but this is cool because J. Cole's done this in the past, like where he's just released, random songs out of nowhere just to be able to, keep his fans, tied up. So how do you like this concept, and how do you like the whole thing of rappers now starting their remixes again? Because we also saw with Freddie Gibbs, he remixed Champagne Poetry. So are you liking this new trend?
Shout out to Drake, man. I love the fact that, Drake's songs are making other artists want to hop on the same beats and kind of give their own renditions, because people realize that so many people are listening to Drake's music right now. So it's kind of cool to give their own spin to it. And J. Cole executed perfectly. He sounds so good over this R&B sample that's playing in the background. And it's crazy that, like I said earlier, it's an R&B performance that he turned into a full introspective rap song. And I love how he starts off this song because he's talking about something that he spoke about in the offseason, which is his actual creativity. And he's saying how, it was easier rapping before because he had that perspective of just coming out of poverty, just making it in the game. But now that he's like wondering, has the money watered me down? Like, do I still have enough to actually say to my fans and say through my music? Am I still that guy that's fresh off the scene who can provide that kind of perspective that has pain behind it and also has a lot of value? So it's cool to see him be so honest with us that he's struggling thinking about what he could offer music-wise now.
Yeah, and the other big elephant in the room is the thing that he addressed with Kendrick and Drake, and apparently
that was
falling
a sick part.
It was cool because it was like there was like that sort of elephant in the room where people are like putting him third in that racing, which I think they're all on the same level when it comes to in their own respective lanes. I think that they all make different types of music, but the bar is really cool. It says some people say that I'm running third. They threw bronze at me behind Drake and Dot. Yeah, them is superstars to me. So it's cool to see how he's addressing the issue, but he's also showing love to his peers. And it's also cool because they've talked about being competitive with each other for so many years. And J. Cole said that now it's more of a point where he wants to concentrate solely on the content and the music. Another big part about the song for me is where, he's actually talking about his kids. This is a really cool little 4 lines here. I don't play when it comes to family. That's one thing I refuse. Pimping their kids out for views, just to be in the news. Can never be me. I piss in the celebrity tea. God with me on this record. This is Heaven's EP. So I love that. I love just the overall knowledge he's able to bring to a track. So do you think that there's validity to what he's saying now? Because the thing is that a lot of artists will often go into different braggadocious bags where they're talking about luxury lifestyles, but then again, they have to do some pretty shady shit to be able to have their music carry on. So do you feel as if it's a good thing that Cole's addressing these issues now?
100%, just because I feel like that's the easy path. For a lot of artists, when you make it to a certain peak, it's easy to talk about the excess. It's easy to talk about what you've acquired financially, but Cole's going a different route. And on this song, like on many other songs, he's addressing the injustices going on in the streets. He's addressing how, the police typically, targets a certain demographic. And I love how that's always been a part of his music and that he's keeping that trend up on so many songs. Not only that, but speaking back on the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, I love it because he is competitive, because in this song, he does pretty much say that he's the best at one point in it. So he's showing them respect, he's showing them love, but he's also, securing his own spot and is confident enough to say that he is the best at it right now. And an argument could be made for that, to be honest.
Okay, so...
And wait, let me ask you this, actually. Do you think that J. Cole drops a song during this time if Drake didn't drop Certified Lover Boy and if Kendrick didn't have the whole Family Ties and Range Brothers verse?
That's very true.
Because I think this inspired him.
That's very true.
I think it inspired him to drop
Well,
this.
not only that, but I was also going to ask you, do you still feel as if J. Cole has one of the best releases of the year with the offseason now that the industry's age?
And we're actually doing a video soon, guys, on what we think is currently the album of the year. And that's going to be in the conversation. That's a big contender for me.
That is a major contender. There's a lot of great albums that have come out this year. But listen, guys, the industry's been hot. It's been a great fucking season. And we're actually thinking about maybe doing a video if the offseason lived up to the hype. And maybe...
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Just seeing how it's aged and seeing, maybe doing a little review of it. Because, because the thing is that the first time we reviewed it, it was so early on in the industry. And, off those first listens, it's a bit hard to gauge how you actually feel about the project
so now
later.
We've had the time to digest it. One more thing I wanted to shout out. I don't know if you caught on to this, but he has a bar where he says that his attitude right now is feeling like a young O'Shea with an AK. Like I love the Ice Cube homage, kind of slid under the radar for some people. That was dope too. And I just love how he sticks to one passionate cadence for the entire song, a couple of flow switches that are really smooth, and also I love when he actually repeats his bars to draw emphasis on what he's saying, because he did that also on the LA Leakers freestyle. And on this song, he says, "I'm supposed to be relaxing, but this passion makes that impossible."
I have a question for you, okay? Now that we've gotten Cole on so many different, let's say, other people's fire beats, whatever it is, right? Like, do you think maybe it's time for him to return to maybe a dedication sort of mode where he's putting together these fire mixtapes like he was doing back then, but doing them in a more modern twist? Because I love to see how he's going to be able to update his flow, because another thing with this song is this was a new flow that I didn't get very often from J. Cole, especially off the off season. So do you think that's maybe a lane that he could go into in the future?
100%. And I love the fact that artists are starting to do remixes again, because I feel like that part and that kind of concept in hip hop has slowly faded away. So if Cole brings that back, he would smoke a lot of these tracks and make these beats his own.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Why isn't anyone making fucking crazy EPs with Madlib and Alchemist beats?
I know.
That would be just so fucking cool, right? And the thing is, I understand there's obviously, commercial moves and there's obviously record labels behind all of this, but it would just be so cool for the fans to be able to get EPs that are filled with the best, instrumentals of the year, even the underground instrumentals, because it doesn't have to be all fucking Drake beats, but, just them ripping apart every single song Lil Wayne was doing back then. So it's so cool to see.
It is really cool to see. And one more question I have for you is, do you think that Heaven's EP is leading to something else? You think that this might be an actual EP that comes out, a project?
Well, listen, he did say that the fall off is coming. The fall off is definitely in range. I think that people are so hungry for Cole's content. I think that people want to hear what J. Cole has to say. I think that J. Cole has a breath of fresh air when it comes to other artists, because he brings in a completely different perspective musically than what other rappers could touch upon. Plus, you know what you're getting out of J. Cole's content. It's genuine, it's passionate, it's quality. So if you're getting freestyles like this, imagine what he's doing on a studio album. And we spoke about this in the review and in other post content that we made about J. Cole's The Offseason. The Offseason was like that little sample at Costco you get. But guess what's going to happen with the fall off? You got to go back of that sample to get the box of chicken wings.
The main event.
And then you bring it back home and you watch fucking football. So that's what I'm trying to say is that's what I'm expecting from J. Cole, is a home run. And he also hinted at maybe retiring after the fall off and not touching back solo projects. So
I hope not.
Whatever we're getting from J. Cole at the moment should be valued, because who knows when J. Cole stops dropping music. I think it's going to be a sad day, but for now, I'm cherishing all of this.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, let us know again what you think of the song in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you for watching the video. It's always a pleasure doing content for you guys. Listen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because we're doing album reviews, and we actually have our series called Everything We Know, where we take you guys through the whole album rollout of the hottest releases of the year. Not only that, guys, but our Patreon plan is now live. You guys could access that in the bio. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.